It is my great pleasure to invite Ms. Aditya Kumar Sinha, who is the Director of the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Patna, whose inaugural talk, I must say, I enjoyed a lot, and I look forward to your talk.
So thank you very much, sir, for inviting me here for this talk. Uh, I can see a lot of young people here, a lot of great minds, scientists, specialists, physicists, technologists, all are here. I am very generalist kind of things in this entire audience. Uh, though I am evangelist, I consider myself an evangelist. I don't want to deal with the kind of the world of equations what we had earlier. Speaker Haridas sir was talking about. I just deal with the some of the philosophical aspect of that. That is easy to do because philosophy is no, yes, no, no. It's all about in between. Whatever you interpret, that is the philosophy. And I particularly addressing to the young minds. You are here. Are you enjoying or not enjoying, or in between, or both at the same time? So this is the kind of the entire environment has been created as a quantum environment. Quantum minds are working now, and that's why aptly I've chosen my topic, uh, the making sense of the quantum and reprogramming the human mind. So let us take you this journey. And whenever people get started getting bored, just tell me. I'll just stop. It's just to illuminate your mind to think a little bit differently. Okay. Uh, Mostly on the part of the kind of, or I can say in my technical terms, we'll just going to discuss about use cases. That what could be the use cases of quantum system, quantum technologies for the humanity. That is the use case that I'm going to talk about. So making sense of the quantum and reprogramming the human mind. That is the objective. That is the kind of topic I had chosen. And uh, not just to learn quantum physics, but to transform the way we think and perceive reality. That is the objective. One reality we have seen in a classical sense. Now we are moving to the quantum sense. How we do the to perceive the reality. As we build quantum machines, we must also build quantum minds, agile, open, and ready to navigate a world where certainty is the exceptions, not the norms. This is the kind of entire theme on which, on the basis of that, what we're going to talk about. And these profound questions, that initial profound questions, I would like to address during this talk. Can the brain think in more than one way at the same time, like a quantum computers? Does the way we observe or focus on something change what we experience? Is it possible to train our minds to be more open and less fixed in thinking? Can we think of everything as connected? Everything as connected. We all are connected here. Okay. We are connected not inside the room. We are connected with the people, with the system, with the everything outside the room as well. So can we think of everything as connected, like how particles are entangled in the quantum physics? And the final question, what can we learn from quantum ideas to help us make better decisions in quantum world? Are these apt questions? So we are in this world which is having a lot of problems that I can talk about. But the means and ways of addressing those problems are changing now. When we used to call the easy problems are doesn't exist in this problem in this world. Easy problems doesn't exist. The hard problems has become the new easy problem with the help of the quantum, with the help of the AI, with the help of the other technologies. And the impossible is no word. Impossible problems are not there. The impossible problems are now becoming the new hard problems. We have to address that. And that is the requirement. One question always coming to my mind is that today world's population is how much? 8 billion. What is the population holding capacity of this world? Are we have surpassed that? Or still have some opportunity to, for the growth? These are some of the questions which we have to ask. Tough question. In a class of 40, same teacher, same PPT, same blackboard, teaching 40 students, someone is getting high scores, someone is getting low scores. Is it a problem with the student? It's a problem with the teacher, with the environment, or what? What kind of problem it is? How we are going to address those problems? The real life problems. Sometimes you're eating the same food in the same restaurant or at home, prepared by your mother. It tastes very good, sometimes doesn't taste good. What is that? So these are the some of the very tough problems at all levels. So other than that, these are the some of the problems I also thought of just put in front of you to have a kind of give a kind of thinking on that. Like one we have is climate change and unsustainable energy system. You know, how much energy you are drawing from the sun, how much returning back, where these things are going, how these things are happening. Slow and costly drug recovery, discovery, you had experienced it during the COVID time, had a very tough time to uh, go for the clinical trials for the drugs and all. How we can shorten this period? Though we had done it through the supercomputers, like how many of you remember that during that COVID time, Remdesivir was the one drugs which has been used. A lot of controversies are there, but that has been used. It has been the molecular binding with the COVID-19 viruses. It has been done using the supercomputers at Pune by CRAC, and we said that yes, these drugs can be utilized for the purpose of the kind of COVID-19 treatment. But we are not sure that some molecular binding has been done, but not exactly the way it should be done. The profound question is like problems of vulnerable cybersecurity and data privacy. It's a cryptography which we are having today. Are we going to break those codes? How fast you can break those codes? And it has been said that the codes which has been like crypto analysis, which is being done today, which will take you hundreds of years, is can be done with the quantum computers in a seconds. And people are behind this quantum safe cryptography and all. There's another area which people are talking about. A lot of people are working. CDAC is also working to that. Limited understanding of consciousness and mental health. All of you are, so from Bhaktinanda, they are dealing with the consciousness, awareness. What is the kind of, whether you are taking, in the dreams, are you conscious, not conscious? A lot of states are there, all the consciousness and all. How to deal with that? Mental health has become very, very important aspect in today's life. And you have seen that, all of us are observing that. It was not there yesterday. It is the matter of today's. How to deal with urban congestions and insufficient transportation. Everybody every day encountering. Okay, around the world, it's not the problem of Kolkata or the Bombays or the Delhi's. It is the all around the world. The congestions are there. People are trying to have a alternative transportation mechanism, alternative way. Thanks to the work from home culture which has come to the in the system after the COVID. So we can still have some solace, some easiness, but you can make it out that how things are going to be difficult. So these are some of the food security, sustainable agricultures, outdated and rigid education system. People talk about the NEP 2020. I have serious observations on the NEP 2020, whether it has been the kind of, same old story has been packaged in the new way, or it has been really given a thoughts in relations with the human, like kind of an understanding the human minds, how it needs to be grown. I don't know. That we have to see. Limitations of classical artificial intelligence, and of course, the spiritual disconnections and identity crisis. We all know each other through the digital identity. If you meet somewhere, we know each other. If you don't give your kind of, digital things, you're not able to be recognizable nowadays. Things are going difficult and difficult. At the same time, privacy is a kind of concerns what we have right now. So these are some of the problems which I foresee as that if you develop in the quantum side, it can help us out to solve this problem, at least to analyze those problems. That is very, very important. Please forgive me that I have not done much of the kind of, good presentations. It's a very flat type of presentations today due to lack of time. But anyways, I had to deal with that. So we have bridging the world of. So the topic which I had talked about have three components. The first component is bridging the world of quantum mechanics with human cognition. This is the first part of that talk. So quantum mechanics, as you all know, is dealing with the subatomic particles, known for its strange and counterintuitive principles like superpositions. You already been dealt with superpositions in the last this one, entanglement and uncertainty. What is a human cognition? The way we see to the world, the way we understand the world, the way we perceive the world, the way the information is processed, the way we respond to the information, all those are the part of the human cognitions. And of course, if we are entering to the era of quantum technologies, we must evolve our ways of thinking. I said that we have to address huge problems, long problems which has been not been addressed till date. So we are thinking that way, to evolve our way of thinking, just as the quantum theory challenges classical physics, it is also challenges linear, binary, and reductionist thinking patterns in human mind. Generally, people have a tendency to see in a simplistic way. When you see as a kind of a bicycle, anything which is having the two wheels, you call it as a bicycle or something like a motorcycle kind of things and all. We never think like, we have to, we see the patterns and we try to identify those based on those and associated memories, things are there to try to understand those patterns in a simplistic way, not going beyond that. Whether it's a bicycle, not bicycle. And that quantum mechanics is challenging those aspects. The reality which has been presented to you is a real reality or non-real reality, or is it something different? Those are the very, very different way you are looking into the aspects of the real world today, what we are dealing with. The second part of the talk was from classical certainty to quantum ambiguity. So shift in mindset. When changing the mindsets are basically changing. We are till now we are dealt with the classical certainty that is a bottle. This is a bottle. There is a half filled bottle, half water. So this half water filled bottle is there. Is the reality beyond that? This is certain. So we have to see that whether it's a classical certainty is there or quantum ambiguity we have to deal with. The probabilistic, you already know that indeterminate contextual nature of reality at the quantum level. So these are the some of the profound aspects we have to deal with, and you're already doing that. So since second onwards, we had online lectures, and then yesterday we had a very good lectures happened, and next 2 days are there. Actually, trying to understand all those aspects. So we're encouraging embracing uncertainty, multiple possibilities, and complexity in the world of quantum. That we have to do that. That is the objective for which we are trying to learn this quantum technologies, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, whatever you can call it, and the skills critical for decision making, innovations, and resilience in a volatile, rapidly changing world. See, people talk about the subconscious mind, and all. And when people ask that, which part of the mind you take the decisions, help you taking decisions, it's always the subconscious mind. Now, the conscious mind don't take the much of the decisions. The tough decisions are always been taken through the subconscious mind. These are the aspect. What is subconscious mind? How you take these decisions? All those are the challenging problems that related with the human mind, human aspect, human cognitions, that you have to deal or find out some solutions for that. And I am hopeful that the young minds who are sitting here, long way to go, 30-35 years of career still is left with them. So they can actually start looking on those aspects, irrespective of the technologies which is working behind that. We have to be look on those all perspective. It's a philosophical, psychological, neurological, whatever the kind of ways you can actually think about. You have to address those problems. And the third part is reprogramming. The last part was the human mind to thrive in a quantum world. So programming signifies changing our habitual ways of perceiving, analyzing, and responding. That's reprogramming the human mind. Why reprogramming is required? Because you are, see, why these mental problems are there. We are trying to address the complex problem with the same mindset. And that's why these mental problems are arising. People are not very happy. We have to address the complex problems which is arising today by the complex system or complex thinking processes, or at least if you understood quantum a little bit, through the quantum mind. That we have to see. Quantum mind is always looking for the possibilities, for the uncertainties, for the ambiguities. So you have to look for that. Don't try to address the real challenging problems. Why my boyfriend is not calling, my girlfriend is not calling since last 3 days? What is the problem? Why it has happened? And these are the see now the young people are drifting by every small problem. I am not having good food today. So these are the, because we have so many complexities has come up in this particular in this world, and always you are dealing with those. Our time was very easy. Our times were very easy. At a 5 years old, I used to go to fly kites. वो मांझा करते हैं ना वो लेकर के, तो लालटेन का शीशा लेकर के पीसते थे और उसके बाद फिर मांझा करते थे। 5 साल का बच्चा। आज एक घर में शीशे टूटने का आवाज आता है, सबसे पहले बच्चे को उठा के लोग डालते हैं बेड पर कि वो तो बचा रहे। So these are the some of the, because they are dealing with the complexities. ये बहुत उनके हमारा जो वर्ल्ड है बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स होता जा रहा है, and that's why we have to look for something, some solutions based on some technology, some means, some mechanics. Classical system may not be very suitable to address those problems, and that's why we have to have a quantum mind. And those whatever I have understood as an evangelist or some kind of as a student of quantum, I think that to address those problems, we have to have a very good understanding of the quantum system in place. So we must retain our minds to tolerate paradoxes. बहुत भ्रमित रहते हैं हम लोग, होता है क्या हो रहा नहीं हो रहा, क्या होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, जॉब मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं कहाँ जॉब मिलेगा, किधर करना है, बहुत भ्रमित दिमाग होता है लोगों का। कोई डिसीजन में प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, whether I have to go to for this interviews or not, whether I have to take this food or not take this food. अगर आप जो बायोलॉजिस्ट की बात सुनेंगे और जो फूड वाले लोग सुनेंगे, और जिस तरह के लोग आजकल पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द काइंड ऑफ पेस्टिसाइड्स एंड ऑल, will not try to eat any food. So a lot of such issues are there basically, है ना? But how to take decisions in those भ्रमित environment or paradoxical environment, that is very important. Think in probabilities, yeah, chances are there. We think in probabilities, but very बारिश होगी कि नहीं इस तरह सोचते थे, लेकिन for own decisions, for our own decisions, we don't think in probability. We try to make it discrete. Yes, I have to go or not go, or in between I have to go or not go. Is there anything? So those are the some of the aspect. See connections beyond the obvious. As I mentioned, that the bottle was a half-filled water. Is that or not that? Ask questions. That's important. Ask questions. See something beyond the bending corners. See something, or ask something, or do something where there is no box. People talk about out of the box or thinking kind of things. Can you think something where there is no box itself? That is the objective. Out of the box thinking is basically you have to think which is already been there or which is not been there. You still have some category, but there is no category in the kind of the quantum world. When you think when there is no box, thinking beyond the bending corners, उस रूम के बाहर क्या हो रहा है इसके बारे में थिंक कर रहे हो. This is the kind of system what I will talk about. This is a kind of that is the reality now. The new reality what we are going to talk about. Five minutes. Okay. What's up? 10 minutes. Fine. So classical and versus binary thinking, you already understand all those things. That's probabilistic in nature, non-linear in nature is quantum. What I talk about interconnected. One's element state can be intrinsically linked to another's entanglement. These things are the part of the quantum mechanics you have already been taught, and you can better understand that reflecting a holistic system rather than isolated part. Whether I'm the part of this hall or not part of this hall. If I'm delivering this lecture, who are the part of this? Who all are the component of this? This activity is what is happening here. I am alone, or these gadgets, or you are the part of that. This air is a part of that. This entire system is a part of that. It's a holistic system that allows you to perform some activity. So that's realistically you have to approach the things. So that's why I already talked about that from fixed categories to the contextual awareness. Whether it's a male, female, whether it's a very difficult now. Now you have in the form, you fill up the form in US, they'll say male, female, don't want to disclose. All those things are there. So things are changing. Success, failure, very thin line between success and failure. Whether success and failure at the both end, at the both side, at the same time, say successive, and for one set of kind of aspect, I am very successful. One set of aspect, I am failed. I am very successful entrepreneur, but at family front, I have failed. I've got divorced. So these are the success failure parameters are changing. You can't have only one parameter to define the success or the failures. Multiple millions of parameters, billions of parameters are going to define success and failures. Yes or no? Always yes or no is not very easy thing. And often oversimplifying reality, we generally oversimplifying it. It's not actually, reality is not oversimplified way. We have to see the reality in the sense, it's very complex. Reality is very, very complex. And this classical mind is not been able to deal with these kind of realities. We have to think about that. Contextual awareness allows for nuances, recognize that meaning or value depend on time, situations, and relationships. I told you that the same food by same at the same home with the same set of people, sometimes it's a tasty, sometimes it's not tasty. What kind of situations are there? What kind of time is there? What kind of relationship? लड़ाई हो गया वाइफ के साथ में तो वही खाना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. So all those things are there. In quantum terms, the observers affect the observed, and thus there are no universal, absolute, outside of context. I hope that you can understand the meaning of that. I already talked about that quantum computing mirrors the brain associative logic. Associative logic, understand that whenever you see something, new item is coming, try to associate your thinking mind with the new items. That is the way we actually, the whole knowledge system, information system is building in your mind. Traditional computer follows a linear instruction chain, whereas quantum, like human brains, deal in associations, patterns, and multiple states at once. What is the superposition? It's multiple states. The quantum is about multiple states, handling multiple states at the same time. Human brains can think of many linked ideas simultaneously. A quantum computer can represent and explore many possibilities in parallel, suggesting that quantum computation is closer is spread to how human intuitions and creativity operates. I hope that you will agree on that. Which another aspect of the human mind is neuroplasticity and quantum alignments, where brain's ability to rewire with experience. It's not that it's not fixed system in your brain. You know the neurons, all those things are synapses, all those things are there. It's always changing their connections, rewiring in neuroplasticity. Mindfulness and metacognition as tools like quantum system, thoughts shapes reality. Perception, all those aspects are actually part of that. So it's important. What is the quantum practice in life? I try to just summarize it in 4 things. Like in education, from memorization to explorations. Those who are from the education, they know the Bloom's taxonomy. From rote memorization to the kind of judgment level, 6 levels of, and that's why you are asked the questions from memorization to comprehension, then analysis, all those things are there. Breaking to the parts, so those things are there. So how you are going up and up to the higher level of thinking, that is very important. The current set of thinking will, the education system will allow you to up to go maximum of comprehension level. In leadership, how you enforce the empathy, system thinking. In personal growth, like we generally have a kind of, somebody will ask you or tell you something, you try to react. Don't respond. How to restrict yourself by reacting. You have to think and you have to respond. You have to seek the patterns. Develop quantum habits for adaptive thinking. So these are the some of the kind of benefits we are going to deal with that. And think deeper, live quantum, call for cognitive upgrade to match the power and promises of the quantum revolutions. That is the kind of objective. I am very much sure that Bhakti Vedanta Institute is also promoting the same kind of aspect, that your thinking process, how it can be can be enhanced using the quantum thoughts, quantum minds, and all, or understanding the quantum phenomena. So those are the aspects. So I just leave all those things. I've had a kind of mind and all because to the paucity of the time. Uh, Brain already Uh, these are some of the hypotheses which is have been talking about the quantum mind. Yesterday also we talked about the Penrose. Roger Penrose. There is a OR theory, which is maybe might be you might aware of those theories, where consciousness arises from quantum processes with the microtubules, structures found in neurons. So a lot of people are actually started working on this quantum mind side, trying to develop the theories behind that. First, to see that whether some possibilities are not there. If possibilities there, how to do that? Then to go move that. So the brain as a quantum system, brain's warm and wet environment was previously thought unsuitable for quantum effects. However, evidences of quantum processes in biological systems such as photosynthesis and bird navigations, very important bird navigation systems are there, has reignited interest in quantum neuroscience. This is another area which people have started talking about. So these are some of the thoughts I wanted to discuss. I also wanted to discuss with the knowledge architecture in the quantum system. If you at all have to have a quantum mind, so what should be knowledge structure? अभी तो हमें मालूम है that we have in the classical system, you have the topics, you have, and then you have the indexes. You read that sequentially. You read that. So how in the quantum things should be there if you are moving towards that area? What should be knowledge architecture? Okay, how the data is as a foundation and information as a structure, knowledge as the design, and wisdom as the vision can be incorporated. So maybe sometime next I'll get the opportunity to talk about. So the quantum mind architecture knowledge in the age of quantum computing, and further on, this is important because I have since last 35 years I have involved in dealing with education technologies, and I had the opportunity to make or to create a lot of solutions, and which is still running in the more than 45 countries. LMS to MOOCs and all those things are there. The evaluation systems. We have one evaluation system called GLAMPS. We had developed at CITEC Patna. It's a gamified learning and assessment method, which is actually you don't have to just four question and four answers, and you have to do that. It's a gameplay. In the gameplay, you actually understand, you answer the questions. You not feel bored while giving the answers and all. So we have a player one, player two, player three, all are running. So if I answers one some series of questions right, I'll get some power. So I make the life difficult for the other players. So those kind of gamified environment has been created. So new ways of teaching, learning, assessment needs to be in place. And due to my understanding about those kind of thoughts, so what would be the quantum inspired learning design, learning system design? I'm just thinking of very, and many of you are the teachers, maybe also kind of if required, we can discuss on that. We can talk on that. So this is all from my side today.
Thank you for your stimulating talk and some very interesting remarks, which I'm sure will provoke more thinking. And already we have some questions. Question from Ankur. If there is a structure preserving map, some kind of morphism between Hilbert space and the space of human mind states, making both of them having similar structures. Comment. What problems can occur? No, there is a question.
Sir,
after the comment.
you have to ask this question to the physicists. Okay, based on the kind of understanding. I'm not the right person to talk on this very, because maybe you ask, sir, I understand these things very well. Because you have to analyze the Hilbert space fully, and then you have to try to correlate the things and all.
Another question is, you said that we are all connected with everything. Then why do we even need to study? And if we are all connected, then does that mean that our mind is connected too? And if it is, then can we communicate with our connected mind rather than communicate with other devices?
It's actually been happening, basically, sixth sense people talk about sometimes. And it has got a lot of evidences in our Indian knowledge system. if we talk about actually studies, Indian knowledge system, Vedantas and all those aspects, these things are already been discussed. People talk about the Brahman, Atman, all those aspects of their duality, non-duality, all are moving towards that. And they have a kind of, one good example, the Mahabharata is there. That person who is sitting away from the battlefield can able to see the entire things and all. So those are there are the evidences already been there, and that is happening. Okay. So and only thing how it is happening that we need to define. That is the kind of challenge we have to see, and maybe we'll find these answers through if we can understand this quantum things very well. So we will able to analyze that one. Science is something which is uh, dealing with the something which is able to see the reality what we see basically the Newtonian what you call it, the world, and that is dealing with the science and all. But beyond these are some of the very very profound uh, aspects that has to be looked with a different set of thoughts, thinking and all. And I'm hopeful that with this kind of aspect which is coming to the picture, and I've talked about this, how to make shift in the quantum side and quantum thinking, quantum mind to be developed and all, we'll be able to answer those questions.
There is also another question. Do we need to reprogram our mind through quantum technology, or we need to innovate technology by understanding working principles of mind, and that can be explored using Indian philosophy knowledge?
So of course, we have to, in fact, see, it's a quantum technology is not required. It's a mind already getting reprogrammed. The mindset what we had is, remember, and who is the person, sir?
Yes, not.
Who has asked this question? Okay, so you are between me and you is almost 10 generations. Okay, so the way generations think are very, very different because it is reprogramming the things. Always the mindsets is getting reprogrammed. We had at times where we had 2 generations, 3 generations working in the same company. Now we have almost 10 generations of company. Generations are changing after 3 years. 2 kids, 3 years difference, they are from different generations because their thinking is changing. So always, so you due to environmental aspect or due to the ecological aspect and the kind of information which is getting passed on, multiple generations are changing, reprogramming their minds basically to adjust the current scenarios. So that is already been there, and that has been seen. Indian knowledge system has that's what is called Sanatanam. Sanatanam means eternal. So things which has been defined will not change. Okay, that is a reality. But reality, what you see which has been defined by science. I'm sorry, but I'm also a believer of science. But there is something beyond that, and which is getting explored, which is getting revealed. See, you can also think that when you were 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, your way of thinking is changing. Okay, no? The pattern is a little different. So that is happening. The reprogramming is already happening. Now your question is that how this quantum technologies can be developed to do it fast or to address it, at least particular things and all. That's very much possible. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Of course. I would like to make one comment.
Yes, sir.
That may be of interest to many. The part, I'm glad you mentioned, you flashed that slide about quantum neuroscience.
Thanks.
And there you mentioned about studies made on migratory birds and
Right.
synthesis. It so happens in recent months, I myself have got interested. These are 2 very fascinating, solid works have been done, and which I consider to be one of the recent most interesting developments in pushing boundaries of quantum physics. These are the studies done by a Chinese group. I think it was an experiment in China, and also another group published in Nature Physics journals. And that I'm myself studying with my collaborators. I got fascinated. This old problem, which I was earlier trying to understand, how do the migratory birds move about and detect Earth's magnetic field. The old idea of detecting magnetic field, that has been proved wrong by those experiments. And they have identified protein in the brain of those migratory birds, which act like quantum sensors. And there are some claims about entanglement effect there, which not yet very clear, but this is really certainly opens up a very interesting direction, which maybe for students and future researchers in this area to watch out for. And also about photosynthesis. Recently, a lot of interesting studies about quantum effects in, because photosynthesis is still not properly fully understood rigorously. So these are the areas in which the applications of quantum physics should also be much talked about, apart from the usual quantum technological breakthroughs and other things. These are the frontier areas, and I'm mentioning in future, we may have conference where we concentrate on these some cutting edge topics and some very recent fascinating works. Instead of making the conference, this is just an idea I'm thinking loud after. Stimulated by your talk, that you may think of picking up some very recent works which have revealed something very interesting on the borderline of this neuroscience, physics, quantum biology, and centered around have a conference to identify such topics. That would be very interesting, because which are the kind of studies most relevant?
Thank you.
You wanted to say
No,
something?
just I want to add this one, like there's one set of birds, migratory birds, traveling from Siberia to India. One location in Gujarat, that near Ahmedabad, 100 kilometers. And I had one person who was kind of bird watchers and all. He is doing experiments on that. So what he has revealed, I had met him at IIT Gandhinagar. He said that when set of birds are there, kind of, like this way they fly. Yeah, one is the leader bird. And they have to cross the 1,000 kilometers of seas and all, basically, But these birds are changing the position because the first bird has to take a lot of pressure, okay, wind pressures and all. So they, when flying hundreds of kilometers, they change their positions. The bird, which is the leader bird, second bird become the leader, and then they are flying. So, and they don't have, if they use some communication methods to use, changing the places kind of things and all, and sensing the things. So these are very, very important studies people are actually doing, sir.
Okay. Because from there we can take clues, as you
right,
mentioned,
right, sir.
to develop quantum sensors. For
right, sir.
example, we can see in this way one can work in interactive way.
Sir.
These are the new exciting areas. And the bird's brain, does it have consciousness? What kind of consciousness? Different from all these areas. So just I wanted to mention this. Good,
Thank you.
Thanks.